This is an RNZ podcast.
Bonjour mes amis, je m'appelle Ben Strang. I'm the host of RNZ's Paris Essentials podcast. And indeed, this is Ben speaking. You're probably thinking, wow, that's an incredibly deep voice you have there, Ben. It sounds a lot different to the rest of the games. Ben just has a little bit of the flu, so don't you worry about that. Ben will be just fine. In fact, what's more alarming is Ben seems to be speaking in the third person now, which is quite concerning. We'll fix that right now. Let's crack into the Olympic action from overnight. Now, Sam Gaze, he was a medal hope. He finished 6th in the mountain biking, and what was quite sad was hearing him speak afterwards about just how he was taking that news, basically. He was very disheartened by the result, which was sad to hear. The equestrians also ended up in 8th place as a team in their equestrian eventing. Tim Price 8th in his individual event. So a couple of medal chances not quite coming through on this day of the Olympic Games. But New Zealand has made a bright start elsewhere. The Olympic sailing regatta in Marseille, Will Mackenzie and Isaac McHardy are well out in front in the 49er class after 2 days of sailing. They won 2 of their 3 races overnight, and after 6 races, they're on 14 points. They're 5 points clear of second-placed Ireland, so they are looking in really good shape. The New Zealand Sevens women are also in the semi-final, and they are in imperious form. They are looking superb. They have a semi-final against the United States tomorrow morning, which we look forward to. And of course, we have the triathlon. Hayden Wilde, a very good chance at 6 p.m. Really nice time to watch if you're in New Zealand. 6 p.m. tonight, Hayden Wilde. Hopefully a chance in the triathlon. But let's start with Sam Gaze, 6th in the mountain biking. He's an incredible athlete with a big heart. Quite literally, I did a story many years ago about his enlarged heart and how that helps him pump all the blood through his body, which is quite interesting. It was causing him to faint for a bit there, but now they know about it. It also explains why he's so good at mountain biking. This wasn't the result he wanted, and to be honest, it was quite heartbreaking to hear him talk about the disappointment of not getting a medal. Dana Johansson was at his press conference afterwards.
Yeah, it was a hard day. Yeah, pretty zonked out mentally now. Still coming to terms of the race it was, but I think it's a sign that I emptied myself, and regardless of the result, I can only be content with the fact that I left everything out there.
You were in the hunt for so long. Can you talk to us about where the race got away from you?
Yeah, so obviously it's no secret I came here for more. My start was pretty unfortunate, and just try to stay calm and come back from there. But yeah, once Tom made his initial move, then I tried to follow and run my own speed back. And then when I went after Aff and Alan Hafley on my own, there I knew that I had to ride threshold if I wanted to contend with the medals. I just didn't have it there, and my last effort, my last hope was that I could follow Tom when he came back from his flat tire, and I was unable to as well with the legs that I had today, so that was when I was lost.
How tough were the conditions out there today?
Yeah, it was a really attritional race, as we came into this weekend, it was obviously a very fast course. We thought it would be really tactical, and to be honest, Olympic mountain bike racing just, rips the script up a little bit. Everything's just so full noise. So it ended up being a really attritional race. Everyone was quite emptied, and there's a lot of dead bodies out there, but I still could do one speed the whole time, and I couldn't lift that, but I could still finish strong, which was a silver lining, I guess.
I know you're someone who focuses on your own race, but can I ask you a question about Tim Pidcock? What makes him such a freak to have what happened out there and then come back through the field like that? Yeah,
I mean, he's just born from mountain biking. He's 55 kilo and a punchy rider, and the explosive efforts, especially in the heat, just such an advantage at that weight. So, obviously he's world class. He wouldn't have done what he's done on the bike and win stages of the tour and all sorts of things if he wasn't class. So, kudos to him. That's all you can say.
What does it mean to be back here after everything you've been through since Rio?
Yeah, I mean, it's just coming to terms with it a little bit, Like I said earlier, I felt like I had my day of redemption, and I felt what it was like to be at my full strength again since those dark days, and that's just to feel it once is what I wanted, and I managed to do that. So, I need to stop crying. And so today was sort of the day that I thought about when I was in those places and trying to get myself out, and it just wasn't meant to be. And I gotta be happy, I gotta be content. I'm very fortunate to live the life that I live, and very fortunate to have people in my life that I do. And there's a lot of things that maybe I took for granted when I was younger, and now I can really be grateful for these things. Representing your country at the world's biggest sporting event is one of those things, to be here in the first place. It's no secret that Anton Cooper also deserved to be here, but with illness he was out. We weren't able to get that second spot, and just to be here in the first place is a massive privilege. So I don't take that lightly. I really am grateful for the opportunity to be here and represent my country.
You mentioned earlier that you hope you've made your family and loved ones proud. Do you feel like you've done it, and have you had a chance to speak to them since we spoke to you earlier?
No, I haven't had a chance to speak to them, but I think they're just proud if I'm happy, and to be honest, I don't think they're happy for me, and they want the best for me, but I think that's what's going to be happy. And I think the biggest upset for them would just be that I'll be so hard on myself after this. But yeah, I've sacrificed a lot to get to this point, and I spent a lot of time overseas away from family, and it's been a lot, but I'm just looking forward to going home.
And there you go, that is Sam Gaze, who finished 6th in the mountain biking. Heartbreaking, isn't it, to hear how emotional he is there about the performance, but he says that he is eager to be back in 4 years' time at the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. He wants that Olympic gold. We wish him all the best for that. Also overnight, the equestrians finished up their team event. They finished 8th. They were 6th coming into the day and ended up 8th in the team event. Tim Price also finishing 8th in his individual event. Barry Guy was there to catch up with him afterwards in their press conference.
Yesterday, the cross country was just something I'll always cherish and remember. The crowds across the body of water clapping from the other side and just cheering you on. It's just been so special. And then, like you say, that amphitheatre of a stadium today, full to the rafters. People just, it wasn't just clapping and cheering, but it was positivity, and it was egging you on to do well. And I think we, the riders, felt that, the horses felt that. It was quite unique, quite special, and something you only find every 4 years, I think.
And what about Versailles as a venue?
Can you imagine something better? It's like the Holy Grail. It's been an incredible venue in all 3 phases for us, and what it's going to do for dressage and pentathlon and show jumping. I think they'll all just have their jaws dropped like we have this last few days. It's been very special.
A good day for you. You must be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, we're here all about the team, and it's been, the disappointment of not doing what we wanted to do, to be on the podium. Basically, it was our driving force behind this whole mission, and we've failed in that. It's a very difficult sport. Well, sport is difficult at this level. You can be so good, yet fractions away, which feels like a big gap away from the guys that are winning it. So that was difficult, but we had to get onward and upward with my own individual aspirations after that. So yeah, today was a good finish, leaving zeros on the board in both the jumping rounds, and I'm proud of what I've achieved personally.
Yes, 2 clear rounds, finishing 6th overall. But how different is the Olympics? I mean, because you've all done the 5-star events, Burleys and badmintons and the likes, but coming to the Olympics, how does that change things?
It changes things tremendously. It's you're representing your country, wholly and solely and truly. Obviously, we're always doing it for New Zealand, but this is something special where you hope to do, the old man leaning on his gate post chatting to his neighbour. You want them to be saying, "Didn't those equestrians do well last night? Did you see it?" That's what is quite special about it, and nothing else really compares to that. And they only come around every 4 years. It's something we build up to. It's the talisman or the benchmark of what we're trying to achieve in our own personal, careers, but also as a nation we're trying to push. We love sport, don't we? So it's always something that we're very proud of if we can do well at.
So the big European nations in Japan, they've done well here. How difficult is it to compete against them? Because you mentioned earlier about the tens of millions of dollars that are being spent.
Very difficult. You know, we're a small nation, as we know. We punch well above our weight in a lot of ways. Ultimately, you need to have the horsepower, no matter what class of rider. It's a little bit like a Formula One driver. You look at some of those guys, when they don't have the car underneath them, they simply can't rival the guys that are in the better cars. So it's a little bit like that with us as well, but we need to have the horsepower. But we're getting there, you know, and it's difficult. It's a never-ending race, a jostle, because the sport is getting sharper and better, and the horses are getting better, and the training's getting better all the time, and so the requirement from the horses is getting more. But, you know, we are doing very well, and there's, you know, you mentioned badminton and Burley, and we're always, you know, shooting well above our standard in those events, and we'll have our day at the Olympics as well. It just wasn't this week, unfortunately, but we've got some good horses and great riders and a very special team behind them.
And that was equestrian Tim Price there. Also not the best day for our tennis players. Sun Lolo and Erin Routliffe, they were knocked out in the first round of the women's doubles at Roland Garros. That brings an end to New Zealand's participation in the tennis, after Sun Lolo was also knocked out of the first round of the women's singles. She was, of course, a late addition to that field after somebody pulled out. So here they are talking to reporters in the wake of their loss.
We gave it everything we had. You know, we had some set plays that I think maybe didn't work the way that we had wanted it to. It was a tough draw. It was a tough ask. This team has played together for over a year, and they just made the finals of French Open like 2 months ago or something. I believe that we can beat anyone that's in front of us. But like I said, I think experience won today. I think we had obviously a lot of opportunities I think could have changed the match completely, like a lot of game points, a lot of break points, or points to hold when they got the break. They're really good in the crunch moments. That's what their thing is, and they also make everybody feel wildly uncomfortable on the court.
Did you feel like you made it hard for yourselves with the number of unforced errors?
I mean, I think both of us on both sides, like they made unforced errors, we made unforced errors. Obviously, when you make unforced errors, it's not helpful. Doesn't help at all.
That's their game. They don't hit winners. Like, they never hit winners. They make people make mistakes. So it's kind of like their thing.
And tell us about the occasion of, I know you're both really disappointed, but tell us about the occasion of playing on centre court and also playing after Rafa Nadal and Novak Djokovic played.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing and special opportunity, I think.
And there's a lot of people that showed up to watch us too. A lot of Kiwis came. We love the support. Every other point it was like, go New Zealand, go Kiwi, so we absolutely love that. And I don't think we would have got that if we played on the court we were originally playing on. They definitely would have showed up, but I think less of them, because everyone kind of watches the matches that are on the bigger courts. So pretty epic to play there. Hope we get to do it again.
That was Sun Lolo and Erin Routliffe, our tennis players who have been knocked out of Roland Garros. Disappointing after Erin Routliffe, world number one in the women's doubles, had hoped for a lot from her, and Lulu Sun Lolo coming off a really good performance at Wimbledon. So high hopes for them, but it wasn't to be, unfortunately. Now let's look ahead to events to come. They're an Olympics power couple. Trampoline gymnasts Dylan Schmidt and Maddie Davidson are here in Paris, soaking it all up before their events start this weekend. Dylan became our first Olympic medalist in gymnastics when he nabbed a bronze at the Tokyo Games. Meanwhile, Maddie became New Zealand's first gymnast to qualify for the women's event at Tokyo. Nathan Rarere was able to catch up with both of them at a cafe near the Olympic Village in Saint-Denis.
What part of Paris is this? Saint-Denis?
Saint-Denis.
Saint-Denis?
Yeah, I think. Believe that's where the village is. Yeah, yes. Just outside the village, so...
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, let's start with you. I mean, how have you found settling into village life? It's been good?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been a lot nicer than the last cycle. It's been a bit more cruisy, getting a good welcome from the team, and I guess a bit more freedom to walk around and that sort of thing. Yeah, the village is great. The rooms are great. The food, isn't too bad, and everything's ticking away. It's good.
Nice. What about you, Maddie? How are you finding this?
Oh, it's amazing. It's like polar opposite to what we had in Tokyo. So I'm just trying to soak it all up. But everyone's been great. Everyone's so welcoming and lovely, and just having a good time.
Okay, let's talk about those opposites. So, because from us that knew it from home, it's like, well, I suppose the no people to lots of people, but just what are you finding about it that's just so different?
I think, like Dylan said, it's just the freedom of being able to walk around. Last time it was really transactional. We came in, we competed in, and we left. But now you kind of get to do all the extra bits that come along with it. So it's quite fun. It's really cool.
Now, we've met you here at a coffee shop. Have you had a chance to get something yet?
Nah, Lewis hasn't ordered me anything yet, which is unusual. Yeah, usually he's onto that. So, but I think he's on the phone. He's obviously organising other things.
Because like we noticed beforehand when we were chatting to you guys before you left, and Lewis Clareburt, he was the most surprised training meal was his butter, butter chicken pie.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, what's the best sort of French carb you've hit so far in the build-up, Maddie? Can you do that yet or not?
I haven't really hit too many French foods. I've been sticking to pretty plain foods as of, but probably after comp I'm going to be hitting the patisseries pretty hard.
Yeah. So you mentioned, Matt, it's your second. Dylan, it's your third. Just tell us about the learning curves that you've learnt from Olympics to Olympics.
How long do you want to be here for?
No, we'll go.
Nah, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Obviously, like Rio, I was 19, so young, and I guess just kind of everything felt like it went pretty quick.
Yeah.
Can't remember a whole lot. All I remember is it just being like a crazy, cool, fun experience. And then through the years, like obviously going through to Tokyo, you kind of get used to the different format as well. A big part of it is the Olympics. Our competition is like such a different format to how we normally compete.
Yeah.
So then, obviously I knew what was going to happen in Tokyo, and obviously, got a pretty good result in Tokyo. And then it's hard to put into words, but like every time you're training and competing, and you find like you've got something, and then you think you've got it, and then the next comp you lose it. So it's a constant sort of like battle or a struggle to like keep on top of all the little things that work for you. But it's just one of those things, and I guess this game's been working really, really hard, and I found a few things that are working, and the body's in good shape, and the main thing for me, from what I've learned, I guess over the years, is to let go of the outcome.
Yeah,
it's pretty easy to say, but hard to do. As much as you can, and just honestly just take your time, slow everything down, enjoy everything, just like the old stop and smell the roses type deal. But it's so true, just like actually soak it all in, and just take your time and be patient with like every sort of everything you do, and because it doesn't come along very often, so you just want to make the most of it no matter what happens.
Actually, that's a beautiful thing, because you're our sports Olympic power couple, which is quite good. I mean, but does that give you that chance to do that? Like, you go and check into the village, and you kind of have to walk in like, I've been here before, but did it give you a chance to shut a door somewhere and go, where are the Olympics again?
Yeah, and I think, like we said last time, it was such a different experience, so this time just really making sure that we make the most of everything that we're getting, because last time we missed out on so much. So just soaking in everything, stopping, smelling the roses, doing all that. It's been
So this got to ask you, how do you feel in the build up to comp?
Feeling really good. I think last time I was so fresh into open trampolining, and I was still finding my feet, and I think the Olympics came around really quickly for me, and I just wasn't probably very settled with what I was doing. But this time I feel really confident. I've been in it for a couple of years now, so I just think I know who I am as an athlete and how to compete a bit better now. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm feeling really good.
Yeah, Dylan, I've got a couple more for you. Number one is, I know that a lot of old skateboarders look at the modern skateboarding tricks and go, what the hell is that? Because things evolve. Tell me about the evolution of it from where we are now that you're having to do from when you started.
Yeah, like I guess for men's trampoline, the sport has sort of in the last 3 years has kind of grown a lot in terms of like technical and difficulty. So we've gone away from doing a compulsory routine and a voluntary routine. We have just a voluntary routine now, and in the prelims you get 2 chances to generally make it to semi-finals. But it's 2 chances to make it into the finals for the Olympics. So it's really like I guess push the boys to do harder stuff. Take a few more risks, and with that the scores have become a bit bigger. So I'm definitely stepping up the difficulty, doing a lot harder routine than I have done in the past at the Olympics, but I've competed it a few times now and it's feeling good.
Great.
But it's one of those things where the sport's kind of got to a place where you can't really take it easy and expect to win a medal. You have to kind of take a risk, you have to push it, you have to
It's the Olympics, right?
Yeah,
go big or go home.
You have to go for it, otherwise, you're going to come fourth or fifth, which no one wants to. Well, it's still an amazing achievement, but obviously everyone wants to get onto the podium. So for me, to get onto the podium, I'm going to have to push it, which for me is exciting. I'm excited to give it a good crack, and as you said, just go hard and then go home.
And also, just for a jump out of here, everyone loved. We want to know about Taco, your dog. Who's looking after Taco?
Currently, my sister's looking after Taco. It was my mum and dad, but they have touched down in Europe, so they're coming into Paris tonight, actually.
Perfect.
Just my sister's taking over the house and looking after my dog. So getting some photos back. He seems to be enjoying it. But I do miss him a lot. But I'm sure he's in safe and capable hands.
There you go. That was Nathan Rarere talking to Dylan Schmidt and Maddie Davidson, and hopefully they can shock some people and do well in the trampoline. How good would that be later in the games coming this weekend? And tonight we have the triathlon. Hayden Wild, as I mentioned earlier, he has a good chance to win a medal for New Zealand. But tomorrow we have the women's triathlon. Nicole van der Kay will be competing in that. Nathan Rarere also caught up with her. And they, everyone's worried about the water quality, aren't they? Have a listen to this.
Nicole, I want to talk not river quality of the Seine, but can you describe to me what it's like swimming? Because there's a current through there, right?
Yeah.
So just talk me through, swim stages with things like that and how you deal with it coming off the pontoon.
Yeah, so a lot of people talk about the quality, but the current's probably more of a concern at the moment. Last year we swam at 0.2, 0.3 metres per second.
Yeah.
And in the last month it's been well over 1. Which is, we need it under 1 to actually swim. So it's dropped down under 1, which is great, but it's going to play a lot into the swim. Like there's currents, there's, different directions. It's going to be a tricky swim, and we have to be very aware of who's around us. So this is going to change that even more. It's going to be challenging.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that, right? I mean, how does it even change your planning for the rest of the race after that? Because you'd be expecting, I guess, a certain amount of energy if things go right out of the water, right? With the extra current, that's harder then.
Yeah. It's hard to plan for. You can't. It's unpredictable where the eddies or the fast bits are. So it would have been nice to have a swim familiarisation to kind of check that, but with the quality, I'm not going to risk that. So hopefully someone else can jump in and I can watch them. And then the morning of, we can, test the water. But that's going to be a very big element, and to try and conserve as much energy, because it's going to be very hard swimming back upstream.
It doesn't look like the clearest water I've ever seen. So what about that bit when you're in that tight pack and everyone's splashing around? I mean, what can you say? Is it just pretty much feet? How do you navigate?
Yeah, you basically follow the bubbles. So, it's hard to see, especially not in clear water. But you find the bubbles, you find the feet, and you hold on to them or move forward.
Yeah. And what about the rest of the course? Tell me I know the course has been out for a little while. So tell me, how familiar are you with it?
Yeah, so I did the test event last year.
Yeah.
It's a very beautiful course. It's probably one of the most beautiful courses I've been on in my life.
Yeah.
We won't be taking in the scenery.
I was going to say that though. Is there anything you'd give yourself a little sneaky look at though, or go, oh good, at least I'm going past that lamo?
To be honest, I'll just be fighting for those wheels really. Definitely course familiar, you can take it in a bit more and after the race, but when you're racing you're not really looking at that.
Yeah. Is it like a steady surface? Because when I'm going around town I notice sometimes it's cobbles, sometimes it's a bit up and down. What's it like for a surface for you?
Yeah, it's fairly smooth. There's a few cobbles there, but they're really soft cobbles, I'd say. They're not big Belgium cobbles or anything. So it's quite a safe course. There's wide roads, and so it's going to be very fast.
Yeah.
It's not too technical. So
yeah. We just heard the sound of the Olympics that I've heard so far. Hey, now you haven't been around Paris, you've just got here recently to that. But what do you make of all the security and stuff?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It took us a long time to actually get in the village. We're staying outside, but there's police bikes on every corner, and Yeah, there's a lot of security around here.
Well, it makes you know that you're involved in something that's a big deal, right? And I know this is, you've had prior Olympic experience here at Tokyo, but obviously very different this one.
Completely different. Very grateful to be at another one, and another one that's more, user-friendly, less COVID. It's very, very good feels here.
And that was Nicole van der Kay, who is competing in the triathlon tomorrow afternoon, Wednesday afternoon, New Zealand time. And fingers crossed she'll be going into that after having seen Hayden Wilde and Dylan McCulloch do the business in the men's triathlon. So let's go through those events. Hayden Wilde and Dylan McCulloch are in that men's triathlon at 6 p.m. Tonight here in New Zealand. The shooting, the men's trap qualification, day 2, Owen Robinson to continue there. He's 19th after day 1, so some work needed for him to qualify for the final. Only the top 6 make it. In the rowing, Emma Twigg is in the women's single sculls quarterfinal from 7:30 p.m. Men's single sculls quarterfinal, Tom McIntosh from 8:10 p.m. Women's double sculls semi-final, Lucy Spores and Brooke Francis. That's 8:50 p.m. And the men's double sculls semi-final, Robbie Manson and Jordan Parry from 9:10. In the swimming, the men's 200-metre butterfly heats, Lewis Clarebert's back in the pool, 9 o'clock, or from 9 o'clock, as is Cameron Gray in the men's 100-metre freestyle heats, and Eve Thomas is back in the pool in the women's 1,500-metre freestyle heats. The equestrian, the dressage individual open day 1, Melissa Galloway is there from 9 p.m. Then in the early hours of Wednesday morning, the sailing, the men's foil races 9 to 12, Josh Armitt in Marseille from 12:17 a.m. The women's 49er FX races 7 to 9, Molly Meach and Joe Alley, 1:45. And Isaac McCarty and Will McKenzie, they are leading the way in the men's 49er. They have a very juicy, very, very handy lead after 6 races. Their next 3 races from 2:35 a.m. In the rugby sevens, the New Zealand women are through to the semi-finals at 1:30 a.m. They are playing against the United States, and if they do indeed make that gold medal match, it will be at 5:45 a.m. tomorrow. The bronze medal match at 5 a.m. So fingers crossed they're going for the silver and the gold. We will see that at 1:30 a.m. against the United States. The kayak slalom, the men's K1, Finn Butcher has his first run at 2 a.m. and a second run at 4:10 a.m. The men's hockey are up against Argentina at 3 a.m. The men's football against France, Thierry Henry is leading the French team as manager. They're playing at 5 a.m. Going to be a tough one against the hosts, I'll tell you that much. In the surfing, the surfing gets underway from about 5 a.m. New Zealand time, running through into the afternoon. The men's gold medal match in the surfing is at 1:34 p.m. tomorrow over in Tahiti. The women's gold match is at 2:15. Do you call it a match? Surf off? I don't know what you call it. 2:15 for the women's surfing gold battle there. And the swimming, should Cameron Gray and Lewis Clarebert make their semi-finals in the 100 metres freestyle and 200 metres butterfly respectively, that would be at 6:30 a.m. and 6:41 a.m. tomorrow morning. So set your alarms for whatever you want to watch. Make sure you're there. I will be back tomorrow with another episode of Paris Essentials. We're dropping these at 11 a.m. to le jour every day during the Olympic Games. Now you can get Paris Essentials at all good podcast places, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you follow and listen to all the episodes as we look at what's happening over in Paris. But until tomorrow, à demain, au revoir.